I did.
You guys ready? You guys ready for circus trips? Yeah. We are in Vegas, right? Hey. We're in Vegas, man. Do a little bit of circus trips for you guys this morning. Come on in, sit down, guys. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for coming out this morning. So invest some time into you guys. All right? All right. Got a couple people in the hallway. Let these guys start coming in. All right, for those of you guys, real quick, let me get a feel for who's in the room. How many of you guys invest in residential real estate? Just raise your hands real quick. Okay, shit, a lot of you guys. Keep your hands up real quick. So residential real estate, you guys are investing. You own something other than a single family home that you live in. As an investment, it's a rental. Okay. How many of you guys invest in commercial real estate? Okay. Less people, but some. Okay, cool. How many of you guys are in construction, building or renovations? How many of you guys have ever done like a fix and flip? Raise your hand. You've done a fix and flip. There's a lot of fix and flippers in Vegas. Okay, cool. Perfect. All right. If you've never done anything with real estate ever before or construction, raise your hand. And it's okay. Don't be embarrassed. Raise your hand. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Perfect. Good. Come on in, guys. Plenty of room up here. These seats will fill in. So it's like church. I'll be your usher, man. Just grab a seat here. There's one here. There's one here. I don't even pass the tray around. Take your money a little bit too. Just joke. I'm not going to pass the tray. Thanks for that. You got to make your money. Get you got to make your money. Okay. Cool. All right, guys. So those of you guys that, how many of you guys? I want to see from marketing. How many of you guys don't know who I am before the ad that you guys answered to come in? Raise your hand. Oh, perfect. I love it. It's perfect. Cool. You suckers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to, just real quick, for the people that are new, because we target market a lot of new people working in our community every single day. And we have over a community of over 1 million people and 1,800 active people that are actually working in our physical community. And so one of the big things, guys, is I started building houses back in 1998. Okay, not because I thought I was going to be building houses there. In fact, I had no clue. In fact, I tried to do everything I could for about the first 5 years of my career to not do construction and not be in the field that I was in, because it was just hard work. Because I was doing a lot of the work back in the early days. I wasn't actually swinging the hammers, but we were in there managing crews. And so we still own a concrete company today. When we started building houses, I opened up a concrete company in 1998 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we were doing concrete all over the country. We were doing, if you guys have ever been to the rainforest cafes, you guys see like those real cool rocks and stuff that are fake. Or if you guys go like to the Gaylord in Denver, they do all the swimming pool areas are done with like that faux concrete rock and stuff. A lot of that stuff was done by me and my company. If you go to a lot of golf courses in Arizona, a lot of them in California, we did a lot of stuff in Utah, we did some stuff even in New Jersey, and we were doing a lot of these faux concrete rocks. We made millions of dollars doing that stuff. We started deploying it into real estate back in 1999, 98, 99, 2000. And the reason why is because I was in multi-level marketing from 93 all the way until 1997. And what happens, the FTC ended up shutting us down. In fact, our headquarters was based right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was a company called Equinox International. It's not the gym. It was a water filtration company. You guys familiar with that? Yeah. Well, Bill Bull was one of my mentors. I was one of his top 20 money earners in the entire company. In 1995, I was one of the trainers on advanced marketing seminars. So I was working with Bill on advanced marketing seminars. And then the FTC shut us down in 1997. And so, in fact, we were here in the office in Summer Park 2 weeks before it got shut down. We had like a ball fight with pool sticks and everybody, Rich Vaughn, Rory Russo, you guys know the names. Anyways, and so we were like in limbo for like a year, and I just didn't want to be put in that position again. So back in the 90s, I was in my 20s, in my young 20s, and I was in a position where I went to zero. And so I just started investing in real estate, guys, just to be able to have an asset. That was it. I bought a couple rentals. And I got into building houses on accident. So we were pouring foundations, and I saw a dude that was on a Harley Davidson motorcycle show up for about 30 minutes, and then he would take off. And then the next day when we were doing the foundation, he would show up for about 30 minutes, dressed like in a Tommy Bahama shirt, looked like he was going to a nightclub, and then the dude just drive off. And I was like, oh, what's this guy doing? You know, and so I talked to him, and I asked him, I got to talk to him, and I said, what do you think you're going to make on this house? And he goes, I should make about $80,000. And this is back in 1998. And so I just sat back, okay, I was making about 20 grand a month pouring concrete on average. I said, shit, man, how long is it going to take you? He said, it takes me about 4 to 6 months to build a house, depending on how big a house is. And so I said, shit, this house, I said, how long is this one going to take you? It was about 4 months. And I go, 20, 40, 60, 80. I was like, shit, that's an extra $20,000 a month. I said, that'll double my income. I'm going to build one. So I literally bought the lot 2 lots over from him, and we started building houses, guys. And we went from one house the first year. Well, actually, we did 2 houses per year. We went from one house in 6 months. Then the next 6 months, I did another house. And then the next year, we did 8 homes. And then the year after that, we did 12 homes. And then after that, we went to 60 homes a year. And so in 3 years. And in 2001, we hit millionaire status by building houses, guys. And one of the cool things with what we do is that in Las Vegas right now, you guys have a massive inventory crisis, and worse than any place in the country. You guys don't have no freaking land. The Bureau of Land Management has to release land to you guys. There's a proposal right now that 25,000 acres is proposed to be released in the Sierra Valley to be able to start building more houses, and predominantly affordable housing. You guys heard about this? Yeah? How many of you guys are aware of that? Just raise your hand if you're aware of that. Okay, the rest of you guys are not aware of that? Okay, so how many of you guys think that land in Las Vegas is overpriced? Okay. Freaking way overpriced. Way overpriced. Because land is expensive, and it's supply and demand. There's no land, guys. And you sit back and what do you mean there's no land? You look out at the Sierra Valley, and there's fucking land all over the place, right? But you can't build on it. You can't develop it because it's ran by the feds and the state level and the Bureau of Land Management. And 83% of the land in Las Vegas is controlled by the Bureau of Land Management. You guys realize that? Yeah. 83% of all the land is restricted from you guys. There's plenty of land, you guys just can't build on it. Okay? Now, some of that land is going to have to be released because if not, by 2032, you guys will be completely out of land for new development. You guys won't be able to house any more development, and that's a fact. If you guys Google it, you'll find out that by 2032, if you guys they don't release land to you guys for development for affordable housing, there will be no more land available in Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay. Now, why do I go over that? Because I'm sitting here talking about buying land and building houses. You're going, well, how do we build houses? We can't get land, and land's too expensive. Well, housing follows the cost of land. Okay. So just understand that. So we're going to talk about that today. But one of the things I really want you guys to understand is that where we started and where we are today. Okay. At the ARIA this week, the reason that I'm here is 2 reasons. One, they have the National Multifamily Conference. Come up front, man. There's a seat right here. Come join us. Man, there's a seat right up here. Come on, come up front and join us. Welcome. And so I'm over here at the National Multifamily Conference. I come to it every single year. It's not in Las Vegas every year. It's in different parts of the country. And so what we've evolved to is in 2000, I started buying retail centers. Because when I was in Equinox, we had distribution centers and we had a training center that we would work out. I got better at leasing desk space than I did selling water filters back in those days. And so when I got over my concrete company, I needed an office. And instead of going in and buying an office or renting an office, I bought a building and I bought a building that was too big for us so that way I could lease it out and I had free rent. And then we started building brand new retail by 2001. And so we were doing houses, we were doing concrete, we were building retail centers and small retail centers, just small little strip malls, like little 12,000, 15,000, 20,000 square foot retail centers. And we made a shit ton of money in it. In fact, we still own about 1 million square feet of retail still today. In 2008, we stopped building it because it almost took us under. But we still continue to rent it and we own it because it still produces cash flow for us today. But in 2010, we started paying it all off. And so I paid it all off, about 1 million square feet. We own it free and clear today, and we use that in cash flow. But we pivoted to multifamily in 2009, and we started buying value add stuff in the Phoenix market. We were buying fourplexes for like $40,000 for a full fourplex, guys. $42,000, $48,000, $45,000 for fourplexes. We're buying single family homes in Phoenix for about $25,000 to $32,000 for single family homes that we were renting for $900 to $1,100 a month. Okay, this was the reality of the 2008 recession. Brand new homes that like Kaufman Road, AD Homes was building that were selling for like $299,000. We were buying sight unseen for like $70,000. Brand new homes that had never been freaking lived in, guys. And so we put a portfolio together, about 64 units of 4 Plexes and 12 single-family homes. And we sold that for a profit in 2016. And we got into the multifamily game, buying like larger assets. An 84-unit apartment complex was what we landed up going in and purchasing down in Tolleson, Arizona. When I purchased that stuff, how many of you guys know what a cap rate is? How many of you guys know what a cap rate is? Okay. How many of you guys know how to figure out a cap rate? Raise your hand. You don't put me up. Let me explain to you guys what's happening in the market right now, okay? I want you guys to pull out your guys' phones. And I'm gonna go where we're gonna end. I'm gonna take you guys right now to where we're gonna end at the end of the day, but I wanna share with you guys, so I want your brains to curate why we're going in this direction, okay? Because every single person that's sitting in here today is gonna get started with a business model that generates you cash. But then I want you guys to generate cash flow, right? How many of you guys would love to have cash flowing assets? Stuff that's passive income, the rental income and stuff. That's the goal. But not only because of the passive income, because of the cost segregation, guys, because of the tax benefits. And one of the biggest issues in the world that you guys have isn't making money, it's keeping it from the IRS. And so one of the biggest things is being able, you can go out and make $1 million, but if you have to give $400,000 to the IRS, it's a real shitty feeling, right? So what I'm going to talk to you guys about today is going to take you guys back to where we are right now economically with where we're at. Now I'm sitting here at the National Multifamily Conference, and I have meetings back to back over the last couple of days, and even this afternoon. And the goal is to get you guys into the attainable or affordable housing sector where you guys can go in and generate profits, but being able to go in and take advantage of them and take advantage of the cost segregation and not paying taxes on them. Make sense? Okay, now, here's what's happening economically, guys. And the reason I pulled this out is I want you guys to pull out your phones real quick. We're going to do some math together. Now, how many of you guys realize that we're in a really shitty place with banks right now, economically, and with commercial real estate? Okay, let me explain some of you guys. I don't know how much. I'm going to explain to you guys why we're there, but we're in one of the worst banking crises, even in so many ways worse than 2008. It's different, but I'm going to explain to you guys. There's over $2.3 trillion of commercial real estate that's going to come to the market over the next 2 years, guys. Notes are coming due. And here's why. Here's what's happening. And this has been a big talk amongst our equity investors, our banks, our brokers, and all my meetings are catered around what I'm going to share with you guys right now, because this is where opportunity lies. And you can't buy and take advantage of opportunity unless you know where opportunity actually sits. Does that make sense? Okay, now, let's take like this building, for example. The carpet's the same, the roof's the same, the walls are the same, the tenants are the same. If you take any apartment complex across the United States, if you take even a small little apartment complex that's doing like 10 units, and that 10-unit apartment complex, let's say that in 2023, you have all 10 of the exact same tenants. All 10 tenants are paying the exact same amount of rent, maybe even a little tiny bit more. And let's say that the walls are the same, nothing's been destroyed with fires or floods or anything. The property is exactly the same. It looks the same. It acts the same. It produces the same income. It has the exact same tenants in it. Nothing is different. Everything's 100% the same, except for one thing, and it's lending. So let me explain to you guys how lending works and where opportunity comes from, okay? Values of assets equals the net operating income that you have after you pay all your expenses divided by your cap rate, okay? That's how you figure out the value of an asset. Underwriting is everything, guys. How you underwrite assets, come on up front, man. We got plenty of room, brother.
Thank you.
So when we go in, guys, this value is arbitrage based on banking. Now, let's say that asset produced $200,000 a year, and let's say after you pay property taxes, insurance, light bulbs, toilets, paving parking lots, whatever capital expenses that you have, as far as expenses that you're going to have for maintenance or anything on that property, let's say that whatever was left, like $100,000. Is that cool? Okay, so if we take $100,000, guys, in our NOI, and the cap rates have to run consistent with interest rates, okay? But the cap rate is, for those of you guys who don't know what a cap rate is, it's okay, guys. I was worth about $25 million in commercial assets when I understood what a cap rate was. Me and a buddy of mine named Bob Camper were out in Phoenix buying all this real estate back in 2010, and Bob kept talking to me in cap rates. And I was like, shit, I owned a bunch of retail. I built a bunch of retail. I didn't even know what the hell a cap rate, how to figure out a cap rate, okay? So if you don't know what a cap rate is, it's okay. You guys will still be successful. But you guys have to understand the concept of what I'm talking about to understand where opportunity comes from. okay? The cap rate is, if I had to compare it to like stocks in the stock market, if you went and invested like in Intel, and let's say that next year you made 8% return on your stock investment in Intel, that 8% return is the equivalence of a cap rate in real estate. It's your return on investment with what you have invested. So if you pay cash for an asset, your cap rate is the percentage that investment brings you back annualized in a percentage. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So if you go in and you buy an asset and you have it financed at 6%, you have to have at least a 6% cap rate return to pay the debt, yeah?
Yes.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right, okay, so they have to run in parallel together. Now, in 2019, when the pandemic hit, 2020, 2021, what happened to interest rates? They dropped. Interest rates are not high right now, guys. Interest rates just got too low. They never had hit as low as they went, and so cap rates got pressed. And so when cap rates got pressed, values went up exponentially, because as cap rates go down, values go up. Okay, as cap rates go up, values go down. Okay, so understand that when we went in and when interest rates got down to 3%, what did cap rates go down to? 3%. And so if we go in and we divide this by a 3% cap rate in 2020, do $100,000 divided by 3%, guys. What's that number? What is it? No, but you take $100,000 divided by 3%. Yeah, 100,000 divided by 3%. What's that number?
3 million.
What is it?
3.3.
3.3 million. 2022, $3.3 million value. Okay, that's 2020. Now, where are interest rates today, guys? 7%. Okay, so let's say that we find good financing, and let's say that we get a 6% interest rate. Okay, same asset, guys, same everything. Welcome, guys. Same asset, same everything, same walls, same tenants, same income, same everything. The only thing that changed is the cap rate, based on economics with banking. So we take this 100K and we divide it by a 6% cap rate. What's that number? This is our same NOI. What's that number? What's our value?
1.66.
$1.66 million. Okay. Let me ask you guys a question. How do you go out and refinance a $3.3 million financed asset from 2022 into a valuation of $1.6 million in 2025? How do you do that? What bank on this earth is going to lend you money on that? This is what banks look at, guys. They're looking at the value. This is the formula that they use when they're equating values on assets. Where opportunities coming from right now today is that the asset that was worth $3 million is only worth $1.6 million today. That's all it's worth. There's not a bank that'll give you any more than that for that asset. Now multiply that by whatever revenue you want, whatever large asset you want. There's going to be $2.3 trillion of these notes coming due over the next 2 years. A lot of these guys, these notes are already coming due right now today. And not only are they coming due right now today, a lot of these guys are doing what's called loan mods. And so like I was sitting down with Arcadia, and I was sitting down with Arbor and all the big lenders yesterday. And when I'm sitting across the desk from them, they're sitting back with these loan mods that are like 12 months, 24 months. They got like 1 year, 2 years to be able to reset these. If interest rates don't come down in a year to 2 years from now, they can't be refinanced. These guys aren't going to be able to get out of them. And not only are the asset managers going to be screwed, but the banks are also going to have to sponge these notes. And so I'm sitting there talking to them. I say, hey, when these notes come due, call me. We want to buy them, right? Sure. But I want to buy them for this.
Yeah,
right
of course.
here. Right?
Yeah.
And that's where they're going to trade, guys. Because there's no other bank that's going to refinance it. And there's a threshold of reasonability, okay? So that's the opportunity that's coming from the market. But it's also what's distressing the market. You could be on the receiving end, or you could be on the opposite end. It depends on you guys, okay? That's where opportunity is coming from right now today. Now, how do we get there? Because some people are sitting back going, Jerome, I just want to make $100 grand, $200 grand a year, right? I want to just come in and just make a good living. Now, this is where we're going, guys, right here. But let's talk about the Las Vegas market. Now, you guys are running out of land. The biggest thing, guys, that has been the most consistent over the last 28 years that we've been developing real estate has been building houses. And I'll tell you guys, it's not cryptocurrency, it's not NFTs, it's houses, guys. It's simple, guys. It's wood construction out here, right? It's just houses. So it's not something that's out in left field. It's nothing. You're not putting spaceships on the moon. It's not anything crazy. It's houses, guys. And so for the rest of or at least our lives, we're going to need houses. And so it's a business that you guys can do forever. Does that make sense? And even in the 2008 recession, we were able to go out and take advantage of selling homes. I had no idea that it was going to be the one thing in the largest housing crisis that we in the United States has ever seen. In 2008, it was the most profitable sector that we continued profiting from. It was in 2008, but it was the way we built. Okay, so here's what we did, guys, in 2008. And I had no idea that we set our business model up on this. And I didn't set this business model up for you guys. I did it for me. And I did it on accident. I didn't do it methodically in my 20s. I just happened to go into the right area. So look, we don't service the median home buyers. So people that are going out there buying DR Horton homes, what's the average median home in Las Vegas, Nevada, guys? Is it about the national average, about $430,000? Okay, we stay out of that market. So we don't hit the median. Constitutes for 74% of all home buyers. That's 430K and down. Okay. Now you can say 500K. Don't even get in that 500K mark. Just stay away from that stuff. Okay. And the reason why, how many of you guys fix and flips? Raise your hands. Okay. There's two reasons I don't fix and flip. Because in 2008, every single fix and flip, I either had to sell for a loss, or if I was lucky, I broke even on that fix and flip. And the only reason that I did fix and flips back then was to keep my crews busy, because we were doing about 70 homes a year, and every week we had to pull a house out of the ground. Every week, just to cover payroll. And so it sucked, because we were like always in a race to pull houses out of the ground. And so sometimes when we didn't have houses going on, we had to pick up a couple other houses just to put our crews there so that we had them when we pull the house out of the ground. And so 100%, every single house in 2008, we landed up either breaking even or we sold it for a loss just to get out of it. But in our single family ground up construction, we profited on 100% of every single build. In fact, my dad did my accounting. He's a CPA for 32 years. And I remember my dad, at the end of the year, he said, you had a tax bill of whatever it was that year. I said, there's no freaking way, Dad. I said, I didn't make no money. I said, we sold everything for a loss. And he said, no, your homes, you profited on every single one of them. I said, there's no way. And the one that we made the least on was $48,000, guys, in the 2008 recession. And the second one that we made the second lease on was $52,000. Everything else we made over $80,000 per unit on every single house in 2009, 2010. And I sat back in 2009 and said, holy shit. And so I went back and I went to all my subs and I said, look, we're going to keep building, guys, because we're making money. But instead of you guys giving me a price, I'm going to tell you what we can afford to pay you, and you either take it or leave it. But I'm going to keep your employees alive, keep your company alive, and if you stick with us, we'll continue building and we'll get through this. And I put a business model together to continue carrying us into 2010, 2011, 2012. No one made as much money, including myself, but we all kept going. Does that make sense? And it was still profitable. And we got it in 2010 where we were making $110,000 on every single unit that we were building. But we didn't focus on this. And the reason why is because these guys are building in volume. You're competing with DR Horton, you're competing with Pulte, you're competing with Lennar Homes, you're competing with Toll Brothers. You're competing with all the big guys out there, and their profitability is less, and it's compressed because they're doing volume. So if they go out and they make $50,000 per unit, $60,000 per unit, they're happy because it's a volume game for them. But if you go out, if you guys go out and make $50,000 a unit, $60,000 a unit, yes, it's profitable. But if it takes you 6 months to do it, and then you have to take a $30,000 scrub to get that house sold because the market compressed, how many of you guys want to work for $30,000 for 6 months? No, go flip burgers. Go get a job at friggin' In-N-Out Burger. You know, you'll make more money, right? Right? With less risk. And it's true. And so, look, guys, so you don't want to compete here. The multi-million-dollar homes, the ultra-wealthy, I know it's all extravagant here in Vegas, but this constitutes for still only 2% of the population. So homes over $1.5 million, stay away from them. And the reason why is that 2%. There's not enough market pull. So what happens is everybody's competing with the Joneses. The people that are buying these homes from you are not the wealthy, guys. The people that are buying these homes, if you get into that market, are the ones that should be there. They're the ones that are the doctors. They're the attorneys. They're doing well. They're making $1 million a year, maybe a tiny bit more, but they're not rich. And some people sit back going, yeah, $1 million a year. No, it's not, guys. That's not going to constitute for some of these larger homes. And when the market gets compressed, those people get affected. And there's not enough market pool of those people. So when they compress, they go back to buying what they need, not what they want. Does that make sense? So we always focus on the median, on the upper median of all home buyers. It constitutes for 24% of the entire, of all homes, and it's the upper middle class, okay? And these are from about 600K to about 1.2 million is what I really like. I'll let you guys here in Vegas go up to 1.5 million. But if you stay in this sector right here, guys, this is the sweet spot. And I'll tell you that 750 to 1.2 million is what I really love right there. Because right here, guys, you'll make about 150. You'll make, well, actually, you'll make closer to about 200 and 750. But you get up to that $1.2 million mark, you'll make close between $200,000 and $300,000 per unit. Okay. Now, what does that look like? Vegas land is expensive, so you'll end up probably being on the higher end of this here in Vegas. Now, one of the big things is some people will come in and they'll sit back, and one of the hardest things is money, right? And some of you guys sit back going, Jerome, I can't even afford to live in a $1.2 million house. How the hell do I buy it? Right? Yes, right or wrong? How many of you guys are sitting back going, shit, I want to live in a $1.2 million home, but I want to be able to, I can barely afford to do that myself. How am I going to go build one? How many of you guys have a money issue? I got a money issue. I don't have enough money. Never have enough money. There's levels to this game. There's levels to this game. I was just with a guy that I had dinner with last night that has $11 billion under management and ownership from Houston. And this guy, there's levels to every game, guys. And he has shitty shoes too. I looked at his shoes, his shoes look like shit. I'm like, man. And I know the guy. I'm like, bro, can you polish your fucking shoes? You know? And I'll tell you guys, but he actually does. His name's Art. He's a good dude, and he does extremely well. But there's levels to every game. So, and when I say, let me ask you guys one more time. How many of you guys have a cash problem? Raise your hand. Sure. Okay, I'm going to ask one more time. How many of you guys have a cash problem? Raise your hand. I should see every hand in this room go up. Okay? Because if you did, you wouldn't be sitting here today. Does that make sense? The reason you're here today is because every single person, 100% of you guys came here today because there's something that you want to improve on in your life. And 90% of it, if not more, is finances. Does that make sense? And so what we have to understand is that every single person, including myself, we're all striving for something more, something different. Whether it's freedom and flexibility that the cash gives you, it might not be directly money, but it might be the freedom and flexibility that money gives you. Yeah? Okay. Now look, here, when I talk about how to get money on these guys, every single person, 100% of you guys can get lending on these assets. Okay? Here's the problem. We weren't taught how to do this in school. We were taught all kinds of other bullshit. Okay, we're talking about Christopher Columbus, and we're talking, all kinds of other bullshit that doesn't make us any money. Yeah? Yeah. How many of you guys are immigrants, not from the United States? Raise your hand. If you didn't go through our U.S. education system, keep your hand up. If you didn't go through our U.S. education system, okay? Look around, guys, at these people with their hands up. These folks with their hands up have a greater chance of succeeding doing what I'm talking about right now than the rest of you guys that were born and raised in this country. You're not from here? Did you have your hand up? Where are you from?
I'm from Armenia.
Armenia, why did you come to the United States?
So better opportunity.
Better opportunity, yeah? Okay. Why did you come to the United States, sir? Yes.
My mother was an American citizen.
Your mother was? Why did your mother come here? Better opportunity, better life. Who else? This gentleman right here. Have you had your hand up? No, it was somebody else. Who did you have your hand up? Why did you come here?
Same reason, more money, better life.
Opportunity. Guys, we live in America. We live in the United States of America. The land of the free, the home of the brave, guys. The roads are paved in gold over here. As fucked up as our politics are, we're still the best country in the world when it comes to economics. Make sense? Okay? It doesn't matter how you line it up. You can talk politics, you can talk about who you hate, don't hate, and dislike, but we still live in the best country financially in the entire world. Make sense?
It's gonna get better.
It is going to get better. And I'll tell you guys, one of the big things is if you're born and raised here, our education system was built to teach you guys how to be great employees. It wasn't taught on capitalism. The Rockefellers put our education system together. And so when the Rockefellers put it together, it was to sculpt you guys to go work for their companies. Does that make sense? So the reason, it's not your guys' fault. I apologize on behalf of the U.S. education system for you guys. Because our U.S. education system, it freaking sucks. my kids were homeschooled, and I'll tell you guys that my kids, I put my daughter in a traditional school this past year in 8th grade, because we put my son in traditional school in high school for sports, and he struggled with testing for the first semester. Then he figured it out and was getting straight A's because of how we raised him. My daughter, she's not my son, and she was struggling, and the teachers are freaking worthless, guys, worthless. Our U.S. school system is fucked. So I pulled my daughter back out to homeschool her for the next 6 months until she goes to high school, because our school systems are that jacked up. So I want to show you guys that with what I talked to you guys about today, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It works. And if you implement and you follow what I'm telling you guys today, every single person in here can get finances on projects just like this. But you have to understand how to create the equity in the assets that we're going after. Does that make sense? Okay, now you can either pay for the down payment out of your pocket, or you can create the down payment. And I'm going to show you guys how to create it. Now, here in Las Vegas, guys, you guys have an inventory crisis. Let me get rid of this stuff. Let's talk about what you guys should be paying attention to. You guys can buy land, and there is going to be land that gets released here. It's going to be a little bit more expensive. When you go out and you build like in the upper middle class areas, and you're selling a $900,000 home, how much do you think that lot, that $900,000 home, how much do you think that thing cost for that land? About 200,000, 100, 200,000?
Vegas.
And it could be the outskirts areas. And I want you guys to think about the demographics here, okay? Let's talk about the demographics of people that we're getting. So you got the people that are working at the grocery store. You got the people that are working at the post office. You got the people that are working nominal jobs, right? Are those people living in the same subdivisions as the physicians? Are they living in the same subdivisions as like the successful entrepreneurs that own the concrete companies, the plumbing companies, the electrical companies that own the restaurants and stuff? Are they living in those same subdivisions? No, because typically they're living in areas that there's typically better schools and better real estate, right? Those are the areas that you want to focus on. So when you ask yourself, what areas I want to focus on, you focus where the upper middle class is living, and you focus on those type of people. Those are your buyers, guys. We're focusing on empty nesters, retirees, people that come to be able to retire, and people that have worked and paid off their home. Folks that have went in and they've worked a 30-year career, they paid off their home, maybe they moved from California, and they moved from California, come to Nevada, so they can get rid of the California politics. You guys get those guys here? Yeah. They go and sell a house that they may have bought for like $300,000 in the 1990s for $1.5 to $2 million. Then they move to Vegas and they buy a $900,000 house, brand new, and then they retire on the rest of their money. You guys get those folks?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are the ones that you guys want to focus on. Okay. So if we go in, let's say that we build a $200,000 house. Let's do it over here. Let's build a $200,000. Just do the land for $200K. We build a house that sits $900,000. Okay. So this is the resale price of the house right here. Okay. Now, that $200K is going to be for the land specifically. Is that a fair price here in Las Vegas for a single family pad site? Someplace outside or outside of the surrounding area?
It's like 600 to 700,000 per acre, so yeah.
About there? So it really isn't that much more expensive than other places, guys. So like we're building up in Kirkland, Washington, and in Kirkland, Washington, I'm paying about $200 to $225 per pad site. We're selling the homes for about $1.2 million. But even where I'm building and we're selling our homes for $800,000, we're paying about $150 to $160 a lot. Even where I'm building right by my house.
Builders right now are paying $1 million an acre.
Who is?
Builders are paying $1 million an acre.
Are they doing it for one house?
No, that's what I'm saying, they're moving our land size.
Yeah, so then they land up subdividing it, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And all
yeah.
the utilities and everything have to go in all your infrastructure.
Well, it just depends, right? So when we talk about this on the land price, typically we're going in and building infill. So it's already stuff, the infrastructure should be there. If not, if you're going in, you're paying $1 million an acre, you're putting the infrastructure in, but then every lot lands up being, that they're putting in, lands up being between like $100,000 and $200,000 per pad site. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you take that acre and you divide it out into 8 lots, each pad site, if it's worth $200,000, is $1.6 million. So if you spend a couple $100,000 in infrastructure, now you got your lots and you can build. Okay, we're not going to go up that tree, guys. We're going to keep this a lot more simple than that. Okay, so when we talk about this, we're talking about already developed lots. Okay, so we go in $200,000. Now, the average cost to build, yes, sir.
When you say already developed, do you just mean sewer, water at property?
That property, yeah, it doesn't even have to have sewer, you can, there's areas that you can do septic tanks and stuff too.
Certified
You know,
pad
pencil it in. Yeah,
Certified pad rating, right?
yeah, battery, and it doesn't even have to have gas. You can build all electric homes now, and you can just call it environmentally friendly. You're building an eco home, right? So it's just, it's socially acceptable now to build electric homes. So I'm like, cool, and pull out gas, I'll just do electric appliances, it's just green, right? I'm
You
building
would
green.
throw in the panels and they don't cost you much of that as a developer builder.
Yeah, if you do, in Desert Hot Springs, when we're developing out there, that area, every home has to have it, because you have to get 5 energy credits. And so we're doing it, so it adds about $16,000 to your bill to go.
So our properties out here using propane as well.
Yeah, you can do propane, but I'll tell you guys with propane, you can do propane, but for whatever reason, guys, and I don't know what it is about propane and people's mental capacity of propane, no, I'll tell you guys, it decreases the value of the house by at least $10,000 or $15,000, man.
Living in Hamburg.
Yeah, and it's just people's mental capacity of propane. So anytime we put LP, you're better off just doing 100% electric. Because we built with LP before, and when we build with propane, when people go in and buyers, they pencil it. Each time they pencil it, and we always sell 100% of those homes sell for like, on average, they've sold for about $10,000 less per home. Okay, and it's just from our experience, guys. I build like that. I've tried all that stuff. So just understand, just build electric, man, because it takes $0 off the overall price. Because we're doing it on homes right now. I'm like, oh, 30 grand to pull gas. I'm just gonna build all electric. Screw the gas. It's an eco home. It's green. I'm green build, right? Okay, so on these homes, guys, we build what people need, not what they want. So you can go in, and you can raise a family in a nice 2,500 square foot home, yeah?
Yeah.
4-bedroom house. Now, would you like to have a 4,000 square foot house?
Yes.
Some people, yeah, but do you need it? No. So look, guys, when you go in, and the reason that we were able to get to the 2,000 recession is because we always stayed modest in our square footage of our homes. We never built what people were in excess of. We go in, and if the market was calling for like a 2,200 square foot house, we built a 2,200 square foot house. If they call for a 2,500 square foot house, we built a 2,500 square foot house. But what you guys want to stay in is right around that 1,700 square feet range to about that 3,000 square foot range, okay? Now here in Vegas, you can push on that maybe to 3,100, 3,200, but I'm telling you guys, look at what I'm telling you guys, because I have students all over this country, and then they sit back and they go, I push the business model a little bit. I'm sitting on my home. I go, how big is your house? Like, it's 3,600 square feet. I'm like, and I have to shame them. I say, stay within the business model. Don't do that, guys. Stay within the business model. This shit works. How do I know? Because I've been doing it for 27 years, guys, almost 28 years now. And so stay in this business model. You build what they need. Doesn't matter, whatever the market. That's depicted on the area. You know, it's all depicted on the area. We mostly build single story homes, but like in Kirkland, Washington, everything's 3 stories because we're going in and what I'm going to talk to you guys about here in Vegas. So I went and I spoke at a conference in downtown Las Vegas probably about 3 months ago, and I was driving out of Las Vegas. And you guys see those houses in downtown that are way overpriced, and people get them, they turn them into like law firms, or they get them and they tear them down. Here's why those lots are perfect for what you guys are doing right here in Vegas, okay? Because on those lots, guys, most people think of them as a purchase of that single family home. Fuck the house, guys. The house means nothing. It's all about density, okay? It's all about density. It's all about density, guys. In downtown Phoenix, my Taylor Street project, I have 2 duplexes on those lots. I paid $1.15 million. If you guys drove by those lots on Taylor Street in Phoenix, you'd sit back and go, Jerome, how much for these piece of shit houses? And you would sit back and do it. Those houses in 2 weeks from now are getting scraped, and we're going vertical with 30 units. We'll make $4 million net in a 9-month build, 30 units, guys. Full project, 14 months, full cycle, 3.4 to $4.2 million before we have that thing penciled out. We'll average about $3.8 million net profit on selling that property. It'll take us 9 months to build it. But you look at this stuff, guys, and I stopped and I did a little video in front of this little house right here in Las Vegas, guys. I told Linda, one of the gals that works with us, I told, pull over. I said, I got to do a video for us. I called on it, and I said, that land was way overpriced. This house was over $1 million. It was this old house that was probably built in like 1929, or I don't know, it was old. And so when I went in, I said, people don't get it, man. Like, this house is worth its weight in gold because there was a comp right next door. There was somebody else that had scraped it and they went vertical with 2 lots, and there's a comp right there for you. You just take the comp from what's right next door and what somebody else already tested, and you just go buy that and scrape it and do exactly what they did.
What was the size of the line?
I don't even know the size, I don't even remember the size, it was like one lot, so it was probably about a quarter acre lot, because they were bigger lots, and it was about a quarter acre, yeah, and there was 2 lots actually. So there was actually 2 lots, 2 houses, same ownership. You buy those suckers and you scrape them, guys. Okay, now, how do you buy them? Let's talk about this, okay? Now, when you do that, like in Kirkland, Washington, you can push these. I'm selling 1,400 square foot, they're called cottages out there, but we're selling these 1,400 square foot cottages, and we're selling these things for $1.25 million, guys. We're making $400,000 net on each one of these things.
What's your build cost?
Our build cost out there is expensive. It's like $260 a square foot. You guys don't have that build cost here. The national average to build a house here in Las Vegas, guys, is $139 a square foot. You guys fall on the exact cusp of what the average median home costs to build nationwide. Okay, your labor rates, guys, are right in the cusp of what's going on nationwide. So if the national average to build a house, let's call this house a 2,500 square foot house. We'll go right in the middle there. So we have a 2,500 square foot house. And we take this 2,500 square foot house and we multiply that by $165 a square foot, okay? Why 165? Because one, you're gonna build a nicer home, okay? You guys need quality behind it. That house is gonna cost you guys every bit of $155 a square foot to build. And then you're gonna have to hire a contractor for most of you guys. How many of you guys are not contractors? Raise your hand. Can you guys do this? Just go like that. See, I can do this. Just go, yeah, I can do this, okay? You don't have to be a contractor, ladies and gentlemen. You can hire one. And it's called the process of 30 through my education stuff. If you guys ever find it on YouTube, watch it. I don't have time to go over it with you guys today, but if you watch my process of 30, it explains to you guys exactly how to hire a contractor, guys. Exactly how I do it. Like when I went to Kirkland, Washington, or when I went to Desert Hot Springs, I didn't have any contractor. Just like some of you guys that are on construction. But when I get dropped off there on the airplane and I go down, I use the process of 30 to get my contractors. And if you guys do that, you guys will be able to find contractors no matter where you are, no matter where you're at, anywhere in the country, okay? And you'll be able to have them do it the exact same way through the formula that I'm actually going over with you guys today, because there's multiple ways to pay these guys, okay? So if we do 2,500 square feet times 165, what's the bill cost on that, guys? What is it? 4,012. What we call 400. We'll do it 413,000. 413K. Okay. This is our build cost, okay? Yep, we got our $200,000 for the land. Hold on. You're ahead of me, my friend. So we got, yeah, right? Good, man. So then we go back in, guys, and we're gonna have our closing costs. Let's talk about closing costs. Okay? Closing costs will be about 6%. Don't be paying your broker 6% anymore, guys. 2.5% and 2.5%. Just pay them 5%. Now that the NAR has settled on the commission splits, there's a disclosure law from the National Association of Realtors. Negotiate with them down 5% max payout, guys. 1% to escrow, total gross payout 6%. So if we take $900,000 times 6%, what's that number, guys? Take $900,000 times 6%. 54,000?
Yeah.
Okay, it's about $54,000 in closing cost. Now we have financing. Let's say that we're at an 8% closing. Let's say that we're at 8% on our interest rate. Okay, let's call it 10%. Let's go a little higher. If you guys look, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you guys the best banks to get loans on this stuff. It's small credit unions and local regional banks. Don't be going to Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and these other guys. You can use them to build business lines of credit. Where you guys are going to go is to small banks, guys. Small banks will finance this stuff. If you guys go, there's no lack of them. So when people say, my bank told me no, don't go to the bank until you have a project, okay? Because 100% of all banks are going to tell you no if you go to them and say, hey, I want to build a house. Can I get a construction loan on it? They're going to go, do you have experience? No. Do you have a lot? No. Do you have plans? No. They're going to tell you, no. Make sense?
No.
Yeah. So let me tell you, don't put the cart in front of the horse, right? The horse pulls the cart, guys. Trust the process. Make sense? Trust the process. Okay, now, when you guys go in, and I just use this as an example, guys, there is no lack of lenders. One lender tells you no, go to the next one. One of them will tell you yes, through what I'm going to explain to you guys here. Small credit unions and local regional banks in Las Vegas, Nevada. Plus Credit Union. There's a shitload. Valley Bank, Nevada, Mountain American Credit Union, Great Nevada Credit Union, One Nevada Credit Union. There's tons of them, guys. And they're like exponential. There's a ton of different. They're local, bro. They're in the
The bank should be local, we're gonna do it, yes.
I recommend it for single family homes, guys, because those banks invest in their community. Does
Yeah,
that make sense? And the interest rates are easier. Guys, my biggest problem with multifamily right now is that anything over $20 million, these small credit unions can't afford. That's like my max budget for their lending power. Then they have to bring in a participating bank. Once they go to a participating bank, man, I'm screwed, because the money's just too expensive, so my projects don't pencil. So now, all of our multifamily are lending. They're all $35 million deals, and they're all like $20 million loans, because local lenders like credit unions. So until you get to that $20 million mark in lending, go to your local bank, guys. Because here's the difference. I can go to an arbor, like I was seeing these guys, they want to give me 6% over sulfur. My interest payments on that is 12% annualized on my construction money. When you're taking out, do the math, guys. Just put $25 million in your phone. Put $25 million in your phone and multiply that times 11%, 12%. Just multiply it times like 12%.
3 million.
Divided by 12. That's my interest payment monthly. Back end when I'm building those assets. When I go in, I go to local credit unions, I can get like 8% interest, guys. And with that 8% interest, we're able to go in and get these builds done. And we're able to get them done and de-risk our project because our interest payments are so much less. And we're actually getting them at like 7.5%. So local lenders and credit unions are the best ones to go after, okay? Now, when we go in and we talk about this, guys, here's what happens. If we go in and we pay 8%, you're gonna pay about $20,000 in interest on this house. The loans are 30 days post. So if you go in and you get the land, you're gonna be paying on the interest 30 days later. Now, the interest is not paid monthly, guys. It's paid through interest reserve on the back end. So some people sit back and say, well, how do I afford to be able to pay my monthly payments if I don't have the money to do it? You don't. You do what's called interest reserve. You build it in the equity. So what happens is we take this cost right here, okay? And let me explain this to you guys. How many of you guys want to know how to get money on these deals?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah? Okay. So let's talk about the money, okay? When we go in, guys, you're gonna want to go in Underwriting, and you're gonna have a spreadsheet. And on this spreadsheet, guys, you're gonna have the land, it's gonna have the foundation, the dirt work, the concrete work, the plumbing, the electrical, the framing, frame labor. It's gonna have everything, roofing, drywall, paint, everything, all the way down. And there's gonna be a total down here. This one is your execution sheet. This execution sheet is gonna be for this $613,000, okay? 613. First thing it's gonna be is the land, right up here, okay? Because how many of you guys want to go spend $200,000 out of your pocket on the land? Anybody?
No.
How many would rather have the bank pay for it for you? Yeah, let the bank pay for it for you. So we go in, guys, and we have the bank pay for that land for us. We need $613,000. These expenses are once you actually sell the actual asset, okay? So you don't pay for these until these are at closing, okay? These you'll get taken care of down the road. Now, when we go in and we add this stuff up, 613, 54,000, and 20,000, what is that? So we got 657, 677, so 667, 667, 77, 87. So $687,000. Is that right? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Is that right on total cost to build?
Well, you're parking lot costs, right?
That's everything. Yeah, it's the 413, the 200, the 54, and the 20. Is that 687?
What about GC costs if you're hiring a GC?
That's in there, man. You're not gonna pay that GC more than $50,000. So if you do a multiplier on that, it's all in there, that 165 a square foot. Is that right, that number?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we need, guys, right here. $687,000. That's what we need, okay? Now, from the bank, this is what we need from the bank, okay? Now, the value of the asset is this right here. Okay, how many immigrants we have in here? Raise your hand. Okay, I will put money in the fact that the people that are not from this country will get it better because they're not gonna go in and they're not limited to the way they think. A lot of you guys that were born here, you guys go in, you go to our school systems, and then they tell you, go buy a house through conforming lending, right? It's all a debt to income ratio. right? And you really haven't even learned about conforming lending. It's all bullshit.
Yeah. it's all
Yeah.
bullshit.
And so you go in, you buy a house that's all based on debt to income ratio, and now you think you can't go out and do an investment because you're sitting back worrying about your debt to income ratio. That shit doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter, okay? So what I tell you guys is to go back in, we go back in and we look at this asset value. This is what the bank is looking at. You guys are less relevant to the bank than you think you are. They want to know that you're going to pay your credit back. They're not just going to give a loan to anybody. They want to make sure that you're a stand-up person and their money's going to come back to them. But they're looking at the asset more than they're looking at you. Does that make sense? When I first built my first $50 million development, when you took looking from a debt to income ratio, I was not supposed to be building a $50 million development. But I did this, guys, the exact same thing, and you just do it in scale. Make sense? And so what you end up doing is there's a spreadsheet. This is the spreadsheet right here. Okay, this spreadsheet right here. We have an electronic version. My dad and I built this in 1998. My dad built one house. We lived in it. He's the only person I knew that built a house before I built
You're
my
gonna
house.
send me one on my email address, right?
I'm going to, because you're gonna come visit me in San Francisco next week. Okay? You go next week, okay? So let me tell you guys, these spreadsheets have absolutely every single line item and every single bill. The bank will want to see this, okay? The bank will want to see this. Now, when you go through it, it's in sequential order of how the bill goes, and there's nothing on this that doesn't belong. Everything you'll need is here. Does that make sense? And so you go in, you just write your budget numbers all the way through this, all the way down, okay? Now, when you do this, you're gonna have one for execution. This is yours. This is for you and your contractor. That's it. Then you're gonna have a second spreadsheet that looks exactly the same, but you're gonna add management costs. How many of you guys work for free? Anybody in here work for free? The bank, work for free, but you want an ROI. You'll learn to work for free for education, yeah, right? You'll do an internship, but are you gonna stay working for free forever?
No.
Never. No? At some point in time, you need an ROI, right? And so here's the thing, the banks don't expect you to work for free either. So one of the big things that you have to do is go in and you put in the management fees. You put a little bit of inflation fee on each one of these. And the bank's okay with it because they know no one's working for free. That house ain't gonna get built for nothing. You know, there's gonna be management fees, there's gonna be development fees, there's gonna be premiums on every single subcontractor because they know that you need to make money when you build that house. And so the biggest thing is going in, and if you take 75% of $900,000, because they won't give you 80% no more. But if you take 75% of $900,000, you take 900K times 0.75, that's $675,000, okay? So the bank will give you $675,000 based on this right here. So you're gonna underwrite this one to be someplace right around that $875,000 mark on costs. You're gonna have the land, you're gonna have all your costs, and your costs are gonna come out to be about $875,000. When it comes out to $875,000, let's do it at $875. Because what the banks are lending on is not loan to value. They're doing it on loan to cost, okay? And so when they do it on loan to cost, your cost to build is underwritten at $875 on that spreadsheet. So when you go in, this is the bank spreadsheet. This is your spreadsheet. This is what you execute towards right here. Is that number there? The bank, you're giving them that number. You go 875 times 0.75 is $656,000. So this one, they're going to lend you 600, and they'll approve you for about 656,000.
So you come to the table with 30 grand cash.
You don't come with you don't have to come with anything. What do you have to come? You have to do your entitlements. The soft cost to be able to go through the process, to be able to get this done. Yes, sir. 75% loan to cost, because that's about what the banks are going to require, is 75% loan to cost. Now, if you do an owner build, okay, are you going to live in the house?
Yeah.
You going to live in the house? Yeah. Like I had a firefighter named was Eddie. He was making like $65,000 a year when he first did it. He went to the credit and got an owner bill. Was he going to live in the house? I told Eddie, you gonna live in the house? Yeah. Okay, COVID hit when he first started working with me. Economic circumstances changed. He's a firefighter, man, making like $65,000 a year. He had to sell the house. They didn't put a gun to his head and say, Eddie, you gotta live there. He sold the house. He made $280,000 in his first bill. How many people want to be an Eddie? It's a firefighter. right? Okay, look guys, go in, you can do an owner build on it. You can even get FHA financing. And sometimes you'll even pay as low as 4% interest on your loan, okay? So there's tools, there's ways. Well, there's just through conventional lending, guys. If you go in and you do this, the asset value is $900,000. How do we do that, guys? Is we go in and we build based on comps. You don't go in. Most people make the biggest mistake by going in and buying land first. You don't go in and buy land and then try to push a business model where the land is. What you do is you go in and you confirm that the houses are going to sell. You first find where our business model actually sits and is represented in a specific area. So you go in and you confirm. You sit back and go, okay, houses are selling. So I'll Google where are houses selling for $1 million here in Las Vegas. You never want to be the big guy in a subdivision. You want to be one of the smaller guys in the subdivision. So we go in, we'll take the comps from the larger homes and the more expensive homes, but we'll just go in and we'll confirm that the price per square foot takes care of us. Here in Las Vegas, guys, don't go into any areas that you can't sell a house for more than $300 a square foot. Okay? $300 a square foot. How do you protect yourself? If you go into that subdivision and houses are selling for about $285 to $350 a square foot, give or take, that's what you're going to find here in Las Vegas. You're going to go in, and then what I do is I go, okay, I take the highest price per square foot, and I want to model after that. So the house that's sold at the highest price per square foot, that's the house I want to build. But then I take that one and the next one that's sold for the next highest price per square foot. And out of those two homes, what I do is I look at how many days on the market were they. So if the house that was slightly less expensive was on the market for like 25 days, and this one sat for like 100 days, I'm going to build this one. Why? Because moving money is always money in your pocket. Yeah? Time is money, guys. If you sit on a house to make an extra $20,000, you're stupid. Don't do it. And the reason why is because if you burn 2-3 months, these builds will take you guys about 6 months to do. If you do that 3 times, you just cost yourself a whole build. So if you had 3 builds, you made $60,000 extra dollars, you cost yourself an entire other build. And you're gonna go in, our total amount was what? 687. What's 687 minus $900,000? $213,000? Okay, that's your net profit, guys, 213. Yeah, $213,000. You do 3 of those and you burn. If you burn 2-3 months every time you guys sell to make an extra $20,000, after 3 bills, you just made yourself $60,000 extra, but you cost yourself the difference of the 213. Does that make sense? Days on the market matter. When you're looking at comps, guys, you always go in and not only do you look at the price per square foot, but you look at the days on the market. I'm going to take this house and I'm going to take it to my architect. Time is money. So I'll go in and I'll look at an app called Land Life, okay? And you have to go through what's called the process, okay? Now, when we go in and we do this, guys, we've already confirmed that the $900,000 is what we're going to sell the house for. We know that we need $613 to build it. This is what we're going to have out of pocket once we actually sell the house, but this right here is what we need. The bank is going to have $200,000 plus in equity in that house. How is the bank doing? Are they okay with that? If you default on that house when you're done with that loan, is the bank going to be sitting in a good position? Even if they took a scrub on that house to get rid of it, they're still going to profit. Does that make sense? And so understand that the bank is looking at this, guys. They're looking at this value. They're going to give you $656,000. They have $234,000 in equity in that house. Does that make sense? You're less relevant than you think you are. The asset itself holds the value for the bank. The bank doesn't care about you. They know they can't squeeze a dime out of you potentially. They can put it on your credit, but that doesn't make it right for the bank, does it? What they're looking at is the asset. How does the bank get out of this asset? This is how banking works, guys. And if you guys could go in and pay $200,000 for it, or you could take it from the bank on your first draw. Some people, they come in, they go, Jerome, I just don't have the 25% to put down on the loan. You shouldn't have to. You can either pay for it out of pocket, or you create the equity. You create the down payment out of the equity that you create in the actual bill. Does that make sense? Sure. So we created the $200,000+ in equity by building this asset. Where did the 25% come from? It comes from the asset value. You created the down payment. Does that make sense? The reason you can do this without having to be out of pocket is because you've created the down payment through the formation of equity and land entitlement. How do we do it with our apartments? The exact same way. Just bigger assets. Make sense? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. There's like 7 of you guys that make sense to you. Does it make sense? Say yes. It makes sense. Guys, you create the equity. That's how you get lending. Now, the bank's not going to give you money. If you go to the bank without this stuff, they're going to tell you no. First thing you do is you need a survey. You're going to need an architectural set of plans. You're also going to need some engineering. You're going to need some civil and possibly a stamp from a structural engineer. Without this stuff right here, guys, this stuff will give you money and it'll get you permits. Okay? You need this, you need to be able to go through this process. That process is time. People will say, well, how do I get the land before I actually go in? How do I get the land before I actually go in and start doing this stuff? No, you start this when you have the land tied up. Okay? Everything is about speed. I want you guys to Google land glide. G-L-I-D-E. Land, all one word. L-A-N-D, G-L-I-D-E. Google that. Time is money, guys.
Land what?
Land glide. The app looks like this. Let me show it to you.
Glide.
Land glide. And here's why. The app looks like that right there. It's this little app right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when I go into land glide and I open that thing up, time is money, guys. And the process, the faster you get to this process of permitting, the second you go in and submit for permits, even if it takes you 2 months to get permits, you can start your lending. You don't go to the bank until you've went through this process right here. You don't even Google the banks. Don't even worry about what bank you're going to. There's money out there, guys. You have to trust the process. One of the biggest things, guys, I was the largest Subway franchisees in southern Colorado and central New Mexico for about a decade. In 2008 recession, I had a bunch of retail buildings. I couldn't fill them. So I filled them with my own businesses. I put Subway stores in them. I put beauty salons in them. And I ended up selling them back over to some of the people that work for me. And I kept the leases. But I landed up with like 17 stores, and 15 of which we ran, and 2 of what we sold back. And the thing was when we bought these stores, guys, and we created them, most of them only do about $4,000 to $5,000 a week in revenue. In 60 days, guys, we had these stores doing over $9,000 a week in revenue. And so when you guys look at this stuff, you guys, why is he talking to me about Subway? Guys, Fred DeLuca, the founder of Subway, came all the way down to Albuquerque to meet with me. The development, you're only supposed to buy 1 store a year. I bought 13 stores in 1 year. I just did 13 LLCs. And so each LLC bought a store. And I'll tell you guys that our development agent, John Wageman, he sat back and goes, oh, Jerome, I'm in trouble. John wants to come in and meet with you and I here in Albuquerque. I said, bro, you need shit. I said, we're freaking crushing it in all our stores. We were taking our stores, guys, from $4,000 to $5,000 a week to $9,000 a week in 60 days. 60 days. And every one of them, 100% of them, we increased revenue volumes from $5,000 a week to $9,000 a week in less than 60 days. Fred DeLuca wanted to come down and meet me and go, what the hell is this guy doing different than any of our other franchisees? Let me tell you what I was doing different, guys. When you think about this with lending, listen to what I'm telling you guys right now. I was in the midst of a financial crisis. We were building homes. I was running a concrete company. I was flying back and forth to Phoenix a couple times a week to buy real estate. I was all over the place. And then I added a bunch of Subway stores. And my son was just born that year in 2008. So I had a newborn, and I'm flying around like a maniac doing all this stuff. Did I have time to run Subway stores? No. Why Subway, you might ask? Because I looked at every friggin' company. I looked at Smash Burgers. I looked at Panera Breads. We looked at Haagen-Dazs. We looked at every friggin' franchise under the sun to figure out which was the best one. At that time, Subway was the fastest growing and the wealthiest franchise in the world. The reason I picked Subway is because of the systems and processes that have been implemented. When I went to Connecticut for 2 weeks to Subway school, I kept asking everybody there. I said, what makes the difference between a winning store and a shitty store? That was my question all week. They said the bread quality. Follow the bread quality. Guys, throw it away every morning at 10 o'clock, bake new shit. People will come in because of the quality of the bread. But the second thing is our throughput systems, our systems and processes. And then I took my sales and marketing skills and I put them to work as well. And when Fred came down, he said, Jerome, what are you doing different? So when I went to Connecticut, Fred, the reason I did Subway is because it's not Jerome's way, it's not Mike's way, it's freaking Subway. I took your systems and processes and I just duplicated them to the exact implementation of what you set forth. And that's all I did. So my kids, when they would come in, people come to the stores, like I would sit them on the counters, people would walk in, and my kids, if the employees in here, my kids would turn to the door and be like, welcome to Subway, right? You guys ever go in there? Do they ever say that anymore? No, they don't. I couldn't get my damn employees to do it. They don't say it. They're supposed to say it. But when we did like our Christmas stores, and we go like in the malls, and we would have like, what's the, not Panera, what's the, Panda, that fucking place always is busy. And every time in my mall stores, that thing got out of line. Like, I'm gonna take all their freaking, I'm gonna take all their people. And I did. In both our mall stores, we had 2 mall stores. And every time, like during the holidays, I'd go in there and make sandwiches. I was the first one to do the system. I love working on Thanksgiving night. And we'd go in there and I have a freaking line all the way from here to that door or further. And nobody would ever leave because every time I would look at them and I look at them, I look at his back, like I look at this guy right there. I see, I'll be right with you, sir. You know I'm looking at you, right? You go like that, and you go, and now they're feeling guilty. They're going, I got you, man, I got you. And I go to you and I say, what sandwich you want? You want a BLT? Boom, next. You, what kind of sandwich you want? Boom, boom, next. What kind of sandwich? And I haven't even got to the line yet. I'm pumping out sandwiches. I'd be at this guy, he'd still be standing back there. I had a fucking sandwich going.
You're a born hustler.
And it was throughput, man. It was just the system. Guys, when you guys go in and you guys do this, don't reinvent the wheel. Don't be going to banks, guys. Trust the process.
Yeah.
You got to trust the process, guys. Understand that the money's available to you guys, but if you put the cart in front of the horse, they're going to tell you no. If you go in and you go through this process right there, you'll get money. You will get money. This isn't taboo to the banks, guys. We're not putting spaceships on the moon. It's houses, guys. This shit works. Okay? And the reason I tell you that story is so that you guys just implement what I'm telling you guys because it works. We've been doing it forever. The reason that we go in and we tell you guys right off the bat, we'll teach you guys how to go in and create business lines of credit because there's only one of you. And so if there's only one of you, how do you ante down and double down in the beginning when you don't have any credit? When you first start your business, we teach you how to go in and start creating a business line of credit. Because when you create a business line of credit, it gives you another bandwidth to be able to use that EIN number. It stands on its own 2 feet, and now you can go ahead lending through that business. Does that make sense? Now let me explain that to you guys. Because some of you guys, that just went right over your head. When you go in, guys, 95% of businesses fail in their first year. 95% of them, okay? Out of the 5% that make it, 98% of them don't bear a profit for 24 months, 2 years. Okay? So you're in less than 0.2% of all businesses. If you go to a bank your very first year, and you're going to do this the second you guys start working on this stuff, before you do this, but after your first year, when you're asking for lines of credit increases, they say, what was your gross annualized revenue? If you only do one house, what's your gross annualized revenue? $900,000. What's your net revenue? $213,000. You're in the top 0.2 of 1% of all business owners since the history of Adam and Eve. One house. Does that make sense? You're a badass. The bank's going to give you money?
Yes.
They're going to give you money. Okay? Just because you didn't learn this shit in school, does it make it wrong? No. This is how banking works, guys. This is the shit we've been doing. I did that when I was younger because after Equinox, I landed up with, I had office leases all over the freaking country. I had a 460 credit score, guys. I had 26 lines of bad credit, and I had to clean all that shit up. It took me 2 years to clean it up. So the only way that I got started doing this was creating business lines of credit with a 460 credit score, and I would just go out and hustle concrete, guys. And I was getting business lines of credit, and that's how I started doing this. And you can too. So even if you have shitty credit, it might take you a little longer. But let me tell you a story. There's a young lady, her name's Miranda. Miranda started working with us about 2.5 years ago. And when she first came to me, her credit was not perfect. She was doing fix and flips. Her husband is a tech guy. Doesn't know anything about construction, nothing about building houses. And when Miranda came to me, I remember she was on one of our calls. And I was questioning her on one of the calls. And I asked her about her credit. And I said, okay, nobody partner with Miranda. I said like that. I just kind of did joking around. And I go, I'm just kidding, Miranda. So Miranda went out. How many of you guys would give 50% of your profits to a lender? Anybody? One person? 2, 3, 4, 5 people? Okay. Okay, I'm going to ask that question again in a second. So Miranda came in. She found a hard money lender, guys. Private money guy. just some random guy that she met at a meetup, just like this. And she went out, I told her, don't be proposing this till you learn this, go through this. She took a set of plans to this guy, he liked her, he invested, he said, I want 50, so they negotiated a 50-50 split. Her first house that she built, she made $260,000, she gave him 130 and she kept 130. She did that on 2 houses with him. After the second house, I said, okay, you don't need him no more, Miranda, go get a bank loan now. She made $230,000 in less than 18 months building 2 houses, giving 50% of her profit away. Stay-at-home mom, 4 kids, guys. 4 kids, stay-at-home mom. This year, she built 6 houses, guys. She's averaging $260,000 per house. She hit millionaire status this past year. She netted over $1 million this year. She's only been working for 2.5 years. That hard money lender, when she went to the bank, he goes, no, I want to still work with you. She goes, I just can't pay you 50%. Of course she wanted to work with her, right? She pays him 10% of every bill. So she makes $260,000 a bill, she pays him $30,000, and she lands up keeping $230,000 in every bill, times 6. How's Miranda doing? How do you guys want to meet Miranda? Okay, come to San Francisco with us. Okay, so let me tell you guys. If you guys look at your phones, how am I doing on time, Steven? Yeah, Steven, I'm doing good today. Only an hour and 15 minutes in. Yes, sir.
So it's hard to get like money, from hard lending companies?
Not necessarily. I'm just giving you guys options. There's so many different options. Here's the thing, guys. The reason that you guys are here is I want to invite you guys to San Francisco. We're sold out of San Francisco, by the way. So I invite you to go to San Francisco. We're sold out. That's all right. I'm going to stress my team out. Doesn't matter. We are sold out. We really sold out about 2 weeks ago. But the room is continuing to get bigger, right, Steven? Kind of. The room's not big, but we're just going to pack you guys in. We have a big enough room. So here's the thing, guys. We promised that we weren't going to go over 200 people. We're at 220 people right now. We'll probably have about 210 there out of the 220 because everybody that goes and registers goes to our workshop. You guys will need help. 100% will need help doing this, okay? And we did these workshops. How many of you guys been to my big event where I host here in Vegas where I have 1,000 people in the room and we have all the lights and whistles and stuff? I marketed a lot of new people here. Any of you guys ever been to my big events here in Vegas? Like the MGM? Not one person? Not freaking one. Bro, JP's doing good, man. JP's doing, not one of you guys have been to my big events? Holy shit.
Kind of.
You've seen it online?
Kind of. Remember I sat in with Ty?
Oh, yeah, so you were at our event with Ty? Yeah. When Ty spoke, yeah, okay. So you see like, you know what I'm talking about. Bro, we go out, we rent out the MGM or we'll go to the Virgin and we'll have 1,000 people, have lights, big stages, and it's cool. We bring in a bunch of cool speakers to teach you guys real estate. This is not like that. Those events are cool. You learn from those. This event, guys, in your phone, you guys got a text message from me just about 15 minutes ago. And there's a registration link to go to San Francisco. Now, San Francisco is $598 to go down there, okay? It's fine. How much did we pay for basic building blocks and Equinox in 1993? How much did we pay? You remember? You don't remember? $300. They didn't feed us lunch. But it's $597. When we do these, I come in and I tell people until midnight that night, we'll do it for $397. And here's what the day looks like, guys. $397 to go to San Francisco. And here's what the day looks like. I do these for free. I make no money on these events. And here's why. Because if I create a handful of badasses there, you guys bring me deal flow. And is it okay if I make hundreds of millions of dollars if I teach you guys how to go out and make hundreds of thousands a year and make millions of dollars? Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. So watch. Here's the thing, guys. In the morning, we go through this spreadsheet in depth. We spend the whole morning, and I don't bring in any speakers, guys. No speakers. Because you guys don't need motivation anymore. You guys need information, guys. You guys need to know how to do this shit. I'm not going to sit up there and I'm not going to have hieroglyphics going off and people doing backflips and circus tricks. Okay? It's going to be me. And I'm going to be training you guys that day. So we open the doors at 8 o'clock and at 9 a.m. we get started on this. And we run through every single line item on this list and we build a house, guys. We dissect this. Okay? And we teach you guys underwriting. Most people that fail in real estate is because they don't have the sophistication to underwrite deals. One of our students followed me around some of my meetings yesterday at NMEH, the National Multifamily Conference, at the end of it, this guy thought he was a badass, guys. And I enriched he's done well. He's done well. He's worth a couple $1 million. He followed me around. He goes, do you mind? I'll just be a fly on the wall. I won't say nothing. I was a little apprehensive to let him come with me, but I said, I felt bad because then his wife comes. And his wife's like standing with me, and I'm sitting there, oh. And I go, okay. I said, well, I got this. I got to get going. I got like 3 minutes to get to the other side of the hotel. And if you guys know the Aria, it's big. And I sat back, and he went. After the first meeting, he goes, holy shit, he goes, I've never seen anything like that. By the end of the day, he goes, damn, Jerome, he goes, I had no idea that this even existed. He goes, how the fuck did you run all this stuff? And it's just a different game, guys. You don't know what you don't know until you're in. I told him, he goes, why don't you teach us? We did these waterfalls. He goes, why don't you teach us stuff? I said, oh man, I go, if I taught waterfalls to people, I said every single person in the room would leave. Because it's like a PhD in real estate, and that shit is over 100% of everybody's heads when we're doing this stuff. He goes, I've never even heard you talk about this. He's been a part of our community for about 5 years. He goes, not once have I ever heard you do it. There is levels to this game, guys. And so I'll tell you guys, when we go to Vegas, we're going to start here, and we're going to end with the multifamily stuff. And so it's the reason why. San Francisco, yeah, it's in San Francisco. So we're going to be at the Hotel Kabuki in San Francisco next Saturday, guys. And if you're able to get out there, get your ass out there. I don't care if you go, you don't have to go. It doesn't make any money whether you go or not. Because in the morning, we do this, okay? In the morning, we go through this spreadsheet of single family, okay? Lunch is on me. I feed you guys. I don't feed you guys bologna sandwiches either. You guys will be getting a good meal. So that enrollment includes your lunch. The reason I include your lunch is because I want you guys to be able to stay close. And I want you guys, and the reason we limit it to about 200 people is because of the network. Because I'll be walking around. We do these half crescent tables. We walk around, and we have some of our build wealth community. These people pay $30,000 a year to be a part of our build wealth community. Most of these guys are their second year in our build wealth. All these guys are building, and all of them are successfully building. And they were sitting in your guys' exact seats a year, 2 years, 3 years ago. And then you're going to be able to talk to these people. And at every single table, we'll have someone from our build wealth community there, and they got lending different ways. They did builds different ways. We'll have Tony Guerrera there. Tony came in, and he became part of our build wealth community, only to find out he didn't want to build multifamily. He wanted to stay in the single family game so that he could work with his wife and his daughter. And now he created a business where this year, how many homes did Tony do this year? About like 20, I think, right? About 20. Tony's been with us for about 4 years, huh? 4 years, guys, he did like 20 homes this year. He did them with his wife and his daughter. Those were his only employees. He did them in partnership with his wife and his daughter. He just realized, he goes, Jerome, I don't need to build multifamily. He goes, I don't want to. He goes, I just want to work with my wife and my daughter. He goes, I'm perfect, doing exactly what I'm doing right here. Tony will be up there. We'll have Holman will be up there. Holman, Mexican immigrant, opened up a mechanic shop in LA. He came into our program to learn because he wanted to build his own mechanic shop and not pay rent. He built an entire retail center this year, first build he ever did. He built the entire retail center, stabilized it, rented, is rent-free, and he has his mechanic shop in there. He did that through being a part of our build wealth community. And he'll be there. You can ask him how he did it. We have people like Garrett Vita, he's a nurse in Southern California. He's building up in Desert Hot Springs. His first build, about $185,000 profit. First build as a nurse. It took Garrett a little bit of time. It took him about 2 years to do it, but Garrett will be there. Eddie will be there. The firefighter, he'll be there. Who else do we have coming down? Do you know? A ton of people. There's a bunch. Those are the ones I can just remember right offhand, guys. But understand that lunch is on me. You guys are going to sit. You guys are going to network. You're going to get up from your chairs. Where you guys say you're going to leave your computers. You're going to leave your spreadsheets. You're going to leave everything there. You're going to get an electronic copy of this, and you're going to get a hard copy of this. So if you're like me and you want a hard copy, I'd love doing it old school. You guys, and then you guys can do it electronically on your computers, or you can do it on a hard copy. Okay, so you get both next week. Then you get the same spreadsheet for multifamily. How many of you guys want to scale into multifamily? Raise your hands. Okay, and I'm going to explain to you guys why you guys want to scale into multifamily here in a second. Look, guys, this book right here is 28 years worth of work. Okay, I had no idea it was 350 pages. I had no idea. We were in a morning meeting one day, and I told my team, I said, hey guys, I'm going to have Tammy in my office send you guys all our spreadsheets for everything that we've ever built. Framing checklists, punch list for plumbing, punch list for trim out, blue tape trim outs at the end, everything. The spreadsheets for this right here are in here. And you're going to get this in an electronic version so that you guys have active working spreadsheets. There's 18 worksheets in here, PDFs, They're active working spreadsheets that you can run your business with. It's a systems and processes that we use in my office. I think I create this shit for you guys. It's the shit I create for my employees. So I have a $20 an hour admin that works in my office. She does this stuff. She doesn't do the book. She actually executes and does this for me. So if a $20 an hour employee can do it for me, can you guys do it?
Sure.
Yeah, they do 90% of the work for me. I just make money. That makes sense? And you can do about 4 of these homes a year by yourself without one employee, guys. And that's why I still build houses. So people say, Jerome, if you're building multifamily, why do you build houses? I had stopped, and then COVID hit, and I was making about $175,000 a house. COVID hit, and some of my students started building in our area, and they were making like $260,000, $280,000. I was like, holy shit. So I said, shit, I'm gonna do a few homes a year. So now I only do like 3 or 4 a year, and I do them like 5 minutes from my house. So on my way to the office, I stop by, it takes me like 15 minutes. I look at them maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Now for you guys have to go, here's what you guys have to be committed to. 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. It's 10 hours a week for your first and second build, okay? After you do that, you guys have to commit to 7 hours a week with up to 4 homes, okay? What you do is if you work a full-time job, 8 o'clock in the morning, you roll in, you stop, and you check on your project. If the subs are there, you talk to them. If they're not there, you take pictures of all the problems. When you get to the office, during lunch, throughout the afternoon, whatever it is, you guys are gonna go in, and you guys are gonna call your subs, you're gonna schedule your next subs, and you're gonna take care of the problems that you see in there. How do you know what are problems? Because your subs tell on each other, that's the real way, because they all tell on each other, that's the great best way. But everything's right here, guys. Every freaking spreadsheet is in this book. And there's the active working spreadsheets of everything that we use, okay? This book is only available on TikTok Shop, by the way. We're still editing a couple things in here, but you guys will have access to 100% of that book in an electronic version in San Francisco. So in the afternoon, you guys are able to go in and start underwriting multifamily. So when we go in and we do multifamily, guys, let's look at multifamily really quick and we'll end on this, okay? Now, when we go in and we do multifamily, guys, shit, I thought that thing was gonna fall. Okay, so we go in, guys, and we do multifamily. Let's say that we go in and we build a 6-unit apartment. Let's call it like an 8-unit apartment complex. Nothing big, guys, 8 units. That asset will be worth about $2.3 million. Okay, I'm gonna teach you guys how to underwrite that. Because here's the thing, some of you guys sitting back going, I can't get into multifamily. Yeah, you can. There's no difference between building that and building a house. Because when you go in and you build a house, that 2,500 square foot house, guys, the house is 2,500 square feet, but the garage is gonna be about 1,000 square feet. The back porch might be like 500 square feet. And the front porch might be like 300 square feet. That's 25, 35, 4,300 square feet. Okay? If you do this, even just a 4-unit apartment complex, and you do a 4-unit apartment complex at 1,000 square feet a unit, that's 4,000 square feet. A 4-plex is the same amount of square footage as one single family home. If you just built a 4,300 square foot gross square footage on a house, can you build a 4,000 square foot apartment complex?
Sure.
Yeah. Same thing, guys. Same amount of work. You just have 3 extra kitchens in there. That's it.
It's
The
easy,
only
because
difference.
it's all under one roof. You
It's all
just
under
make
one
one
roof.
stop and you
Yep.
get 4
It is. Yep. It's all the same undertaking, guys. It's no different. People go, they get this mental, oh my God, it's multifamily. No, guys, it's exactly the same. Okay? And this is still a residential asset, 4 units. But if that thing's worth $2.3 million, you can depreciate everything but the land. Okay? So like, let's say if the land cost you $350,000, $400,000, you still have $1.9 million that you can depreciate. Now with bonus depreciations, you can take 80% of that in the very first year, right now.
Yeah.
Now, what Trump's going to propose to go back to 100% bonus depreciation, and that'll probably be implemented here post-February. I bet you by like March or April, it'll be 100%. So you'll be able to take a $1.9 million tax deduction, and that could go against your ordinary income. So if you guys have a full-time job, or if you're doing, if you're working as a contractor, whatever it is, and let's say you have a net taxable income each year of like $200,000 from your full-time job or $100,000, you can take the next 19 years and not pay any taxes by doing one of these. Because that never expires. Once you have that depreciation, that cost segregation study, it never expires, that tax deduction. You go out, you make $213,000, until you hit $1.9 million, you can cost segregate it against and pay 0 income taxes. You guys know how much I pay for health insurance a year? Let me take a guess at how much I pay for health insurance each year. How much? 12,000? Wrong. How much? Anybody else? 200 a month? Wrong.
For yourself or for your?
Is it only for you or for
Business.
family?
No, it's for my whole family.
It's more than.
If you show,
Business
you show losses, so you go in the.
About 22,000.
1,500 a month.
I pay $50 a month, guys, and I have the best health insurance. So I'm low income. I don't make no money. My net tax bill is 0. How many of you guys hate me? How many of you guys want to join me? Okay, let's fucking go, baby. Okay, that's an honest to God truth. I think $50 a month. My provider, I go see a chiropractor that works on me. He goes, yeah, now you're on. We can't cover you on your insurance because now you're on maintenance. Healthcare won't cover maintenance. And he goes, so it's like $60 each time you come in. I'm like, how do you deal with that? $50 a month for health insurance. You know, we were paying like $1,500 a month. I think $50 a month. Guys, there's benefits to this stuff, and that's real. That's real stuff, guys. I sat down with Eric from Arbor yesterday, and I talked to these guys down in Arcadia. I talked to these guys down in Marin. I told them, I said, hey guys, I said I need deal flow this year. I said all our projects, our big projects, got shelved, and we're coming out of the ground with them late. So all these projects that we were supposed to come out of the ground with in 2024 haven't even come out of the ground yet. We're barely coming out of the ground with them because of banking and lending. I said, I'm screwed this year. I said, I'm running out of cost segregation money. We're making too much money. And I said, I need to buy something. And they go, what do you need to buy? I said, I go, at minimum, I said, it has to be a $25 million purchase. I said, otherwise I'm not going to taxes this year. And they go, what are the parameters? I go, it has to cash flow. What city? It has to cash flow. I don't give a shit what city. I don't care what city it's in, it just has to cash flow. I go, sure. But I'm not going to have enough projects done by the end of the year to cost seg this year. So I have to buy at least a $25 million asset this year for cost segregation purposes. How many people want to be in that position? Yeah. Guys, this is real, okay? I just want to explain to you guys. This is real, okay? And every single person in here, just go like that. Every single person in here can do it, okay? It's harder for you guys to go out and become a doctor or a nurse or something like that. This, you can come in and you can earn what you learn, guys. It's not taboo. It's houses, guys. It's like a house. That's it. When you walk down the street, most contractors are not the smartest, most sophisticated people you'll meet. I'm not. Okay? But they make money. Does that make sense? Sure. Hey man, and truth be told, like my parents told me don't get into construction because people that don't go to college land up in construction basically tell me they're broke. And then I got into construction, I was like, damn, my parents misled me. There's way more money in this stuff, guys. Okay? And so here's the thing, guys. Let me explain something to you guys. You guys see Steven back here? How many of you guys would love an opportunity to be like a Garrett Vita or to be like an Eddie? How many of you guys would love to be like a Miranda? How many of you guys would love an opportunity to work with us every single week? Sure. Okay? How many of you guys came in today and learned way more than you thought you would? Yeah. How many of you guys are walking away with more right now than you came in with? Raise your hand. Okay? Look, guys, no one does this stuff for free in front of a room. This was free today. I paid for this room for you guys to come in here for free. Look, I wanted to give you guys, and I'll pour into you guys every time that I can. Because the more people that I can help succeed in this, we're building an army, guys. We're building a community that's over 1,800 people strong right now across the nation. How many of you guys would love to have access to a day like this once a week, where you guys get an hour and a half to 2 hours with me every single week? Okay? I host calls every single week, every single Thursday afternoon. I'm on the phone with all of my community. And you know what's funny? We have 1,800 people, but only about 100 people show up every single week. And then we have this My Project portal. So if you guys are confused, if you guys need your underwriting looked at, you can upload it to the underwriting. If you're looking at the land and you just don't know if it underwrites right, you can upload it. If you guys have a spreadsheet and you guys just don't know if the numbers are right, you can put it in the My Project portal. And so at the end of I'll train on something every single day. And then after that training, we open up for about 45 minutes to look at just projects. They're your guys' projects. And then I go through and we go through checks and balances on your guys' projects. Move a wall, adjust it like this and that, shift the house, go in and fix your underwriting. And not only do you have access to me once a week, but you guys have 160 hours worth of sequential stuff. And I tell people go, I don't want to sit back and watch 160 hours of you. Yeah, you do. You do it, you watch 20 to 30 minutes every single day when you're on your way to work for the next 12 weeks, you guys will be fucking bulletproof. Because that's what it'll take you guys. 20 to 30 minutes once a day for 12 weeks. And if you guys watch me 20 to 30 minutes once a day, it took me 6 months to write our course curriculum, guys. 6 months. You can't get it. You can't get that course curriculum in college. You can't get a construction management class in college that goes over that course curriculum. And it's 28 years of applicable real knowledge, guys. Ty and I wrote that. When I sat down and did that with Ty, or who came to try this? Ty, you know? And so I wrote that curriculum. It took me 6 months to write that course curriculum and report it, guys. 6 months. And you guys have it as part of what you guys do every day. So if you guys come in, I need one commitment. If you guys come in, you guys work with us in our community. It is by application only, guys. You guys do have to apply to come in and be part of our community because we won't accept everybody. You have to be ready mentally and physically. And we only accept good people. And let me explain something to you guys. We will pour into you guys. Once you're a part of our community, iron sharpens iron, guys. You guys, I have to know that anybody that comes in as a part of our community is willing to help other people in our community. So if you come in and somebody wants to come in and build right next to you, you're gonna tell them where you got your land. You're gonna talk to them and show them who your drywall guy is. And you're not gonna hide it from them. You know why, guys? There's over 7 million homes in deficit in the United States right now. We couldn't fix it if we did everything perfect in a decade. There is no lack of opportunity, guys. Every single person, if we all went in and built right next door to each other, there's not enough people in this room that could go out and fix the housing crisis that exists just here in Las Vegas, much less the entire United States. Does that make sense? I only wish we were that good. But even if we all succeeded doing this, there's enough opportunity for everybody. And like I tell my kids, guys, my kids are awesome athletes, both of them. And it's not because it's the way we raised them. We tell them, and I tell them, look, guys, the way they've been on good teams and bad teams. My son's a two-time national ranked gymnast. This year, he was all-state, all-metro, all-district player of the year. He was offensive player of the year in football. He won everything. He won like 8 or 9 accolades. And he started getting a bunch of college offers at junior and high school, guys. And I compete my kids at the highest level, you know, and I know they're built for winning. I told them, I go, you didn't get here on accident, I tell them. You got here because of the way we did things, guys. But I told them, I said, you couldn't have won, they were the 6A state champions in New Mexico. And the reason they won that 6A state championship is because of one thing and one thing only. It wasn't my son. My son's one of 11 guys that are on that field at a given time. Does that make sense? Together, everybody achieves more. That's team, guys. You guys know iron sharpens iron, guys. That's why it's in the Bible. The more I pour into you guys, the more that we can all create together. The only people welcome into our community are those that help. If you're not going to help others in our community, you're not welcome in our community. I don't want you in our community. You're fucking poison, and I don't fucking want you. You can go do your shit on your own. I don't want you. The people I want in my community are people that understand that. Because I told my son a long time ago, when he was in gymnastics, he was nasty. The parents were spiteful. All the parents loved us when my son was in last place. And then as soon as my son started taking first place and beating their kids, we weren't even invited to fucking birthday parties anymore. And that's just the way it works. Soccer moms, you right? That's the way that shit works. And they stop inviting you when your kids start beating their kids. And that's just life. It's a spiteful world. When we put them in football, I said, we're going to put you in the best team that we can. Because I want you guys to go in. I want you guys to know what team camaraderie is. They have a great team. All those boys are 3-star, 5-star athletes, and they're all getting college offers. It's the coaching, guys. It's the team. Together, guys, we can all do great shit, but we have to do it together. Does that make sense? Now, look, there's an investment to come in and be a part of our community. I won't invest in you if you're not willing to invest in yourself. My mentor, Bill, told me that years ago. When I was part of the Equinox, back in 1993, I paid $5,000 to be a part of this company, and I got some inventory on it. $5,000, guys, 1993. I didn't have $5,000. They showed me how to get a loan. I went for $5,000 and I made like $100 payments on that thing. That changed my life forever. I went broke for 2.5 years in that company. And then I landed up becoming a top distributor 2.5 years into it. It was the best investment I ever made, but it was because I kept showing up. I kept showing up, guys. And to be a part of our community is $10,000. When you guys come in and I meet you guys here, it's $8,000. But the thing is, guys, is we don't pick everybody. Now, if you guys go in, if you guys implement, even if it takes you a year, how are you doing if you guys just do one build? How are you doing? Let me explain something to you guys, because most people don't understand this, and kids really don't understand this. When I had my Subway stores, I would tell all the staff, I'd tell the kids, well, look, guys, I know you're not here because you want to be a salvage artist, okay? When, in 1988, I got hired at a grocery store called Smith's Grocery Store. You guys have Smith's here in Las Vegas? I got hired in the Jeff Smith brothers still owned Smith's at that time. And I got hired as a bagger in 1988 at Smith's Grocery Store. In 1999, I became a checker. In 1990, I became the manager of the liquor department. In 1990, you have to be 21. I was like 17 years old. And then I became a key carrier and manager of that store when I was 17. So I lied about my age. I told them I was 16 when I was 15. And I got started when I was 15. So I thought I was 18. I was a key carrier. And I was responsible for $20,000 per till and over $200,000 a night. It had one of those safes. If we were $2.50 off, either up or down, we get written up. We get written up 3 times, we got fired. I took what I learned in 1990 from running that grocery store, and it's made me millions of dollars. That I was at $3.85 an hour. That was minimum wage in 1988. Look it up. $3.85 an hour. Was I getting rich? If I broke $100 a week, I was like working like 50 hours a week. I was freaking making good money. And I remember those days. And the thing is that education has paid my entire life in dividends, guys. That's the same way I opened up my beauty salons. It's the same way that I opened up my coffee shops and juice bars. It's the same way that I ran my Subway stores. It's the same way that I run my real estate company. The systems and processes that I learned in 1988 is the same systems and processes that I still use today to run my companies. Because everything that you learn and you take with you forever. There's one thing you die with, and it's what's up here. And my mom always told me that. Most kids don't understand that. They want to see a monetary return on investment, where they sit back and go, well, what's my return on $8,000? I'm sitting back going, well, shit, you get off your ass, and you execute, $200,000 is your return on investment. But if you build one, guess what you own for the rest of your life? The information. Forever, guys. You take that with you to your grave. Does that make sense? Yes. Now look, understand that once you come in, like once you're a part of our community, you're a part of our community forever. There's no annual fees, no nothing. You're a part of our community forever. Does that make sense? We won't be, my biggest thing is I know the way to your success is for your pocketbook, because this might not make a difference in my life, but it might make a difference in yours. Does that make sense? And so understand, if you guys want to apply to be a part of our community, raise your hand real quick. Okay. If you have your hand, keep your hands. If you guys want to apply to be a part of our community, keep your hands. Hey, Steven, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Keep your hands. If you want to be a part of our community, apply to be a part of our community. Okay. Now, those of you guys who want to apply, go ahead and stand up right now, and you guys are going to go back and see Steven back here. Steven's going to take care of you guys. Okay. Now, for the rest of you guys that still have questions, my team, so go ahead and stand up right now. Just stand right now. Just stand right now. Okay. And then I want you guys, Steven, are you sure you're ready, bro? Go back and talk to Steven, guys. Go ahead and head back over here and talk to Steven. Go back. You guys hang out and network. And for those of you guys that have questions, there's a link that you guys got sent about 30 minutes ago on your phone that you guys can click that link and register for a call with my team where we can help you guys a little bit more. Hang out. I'm going to stay for a little bit. You guys can come up, ask me some questions, and network with people that are in there. There's some great people in this room right now. And thank you guys, and God bless you guys. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
I
We can still look at it. They want cash.
They let you transfer this there or you have to stay there. Yeah, I keep myself trained and law. Do I pass like this, train, The first one actually had that kind of issue and I paid, and I missed 6 months balls, find out the
All that's to go determine. I got you. If I didn't have the $18,000,
I feel like this connects with something that I said, there's something that you're trying to communicate. So let me back it up. Because if you're putting up less than $20,000, your cash on cash return is 1 year is not sitting on property. I can show you an example of actually my first deal was full contract. I got a deal going on right now in Hot. Here's an actual contract agreement. I'm giving this fully turnkey probably in Moscow. He wants 250 Okay, here we go. So let's carry back. Part of the purchase price is set for the section. So we go back to so can you see that? So we trade back. The amount subject to carryback financing, mortgage trust, 0% interest. So this is my mortgage. I get $20K down, 0% interest, $650 a month for a loan period. That's full on it. And it should say it in here. But place rents out for place rents out for 14. You're giving them 650. And you ask them to rent yourself down. If you were to put in 20K, so I'll take off 2K, like 5K, putting in 27. You're getting back. We're doing 750 a month. Net to us, putting in 22, 25, getting that kind of year. So, but then you have that property where you're paying your money back in year 3. You have 4 more years of that property. So you have to
If I had 27,000, in 3 years, you have to be more
these are things for people to go to San Francisco and get an 8 apartment. We get back to work. We get back to what is this? It's an offer market. If you're not interested, I can find it. You know what? This is today.
My God. Hung out at I don't know. Probably like oh, this one because I started like October, so November, December. This is like I try to get through this and
That's what they bought it. It's also required. And that's all these guys
That's the low cost.
Because these guys are all, they want all our designs.
So back in '07, I tried to do, I work with students. Yeah, I mean, people just do how it goes. Just have to talk about it. Yeah,
So watch.
Yeah, man, that's been like, buying products.
So, and the equity can be like 50% every year. So we have to, which most companies have. So now.
It's not great, it's like, and I knew you had to finish stuff.
Yeah. Makes sense. That's about stuff you just can't get. You just don't do there's a caveat to the text too. Good, so you gotta be careful, so the banks know, so they're only giving you 70% of the value for underwriting because it's so red and white drops. If any of those two don't drop, red and white drops, it's bad. No, you're right. And the yeah, you're like, yeah, that's what I said. Everything's small. Everybody's over there. That's it. That's everybody. Everybody's there.
Yeah,
Well, I'm you. Pardon me. Pardon me.
Are you part of the team?
No.
Okay, I see.
No, these were all set up when I got in. I was kind of late to the fight. Nah, it was great. I would love to get some of the video footage. How you doing?
I'm Derek.
What's share? That's okay. What's share? They raised it at 160. They raised it at 160, and then they won 119. Came in at 115, but yeah, 118 for somebody else. Honestly, if I'm stand out numbers to see
Well,
yeah, yeah, I'm gonna make it talk. Okay, so I
You learn from it, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's good. I call it selling forward. That's what everybody says. Rules, fail forward. Take my number down.
I'm already in the meeting in my head, so depending on what I'm going to say, I might actually do
Yes, sir. We'll talk soon.
Hey, I got your number. Let's talk soon, all right?
Hey, tell me about what you're doing right now. I'm gonna put this over on YouTube that you're still running over here.
I'm doing right now remodeling a lot of houses or commercials. But
Love you guys, man. You guys all have a good day.
Jerome, can I get a picture?
Yeah, bro, you sure can. Let me end this.
you know, I'm going. Nice to meet you.